Hey guys, we are back with some more Czeching Lions franchise mode, and in this one, well, we may have some tough decisions to make, because at the moment we're 23-20-3, certainly not terrible, but you take a look at that last 10, 1-8-1, we have been on a slide as of late, and that makes me very, very uncomfortable with the position that this team is in. Because we honestly, we had a great start to the season. Because if you subtract that 1-8-1, I mean, that's 22-12-2, right? So we had a fantastic start to the season for an expansion team. But the fact that we're 1-8-1 as of late, that doesn't sit well with me. And the fact that we also have a +5 line, and that Nick Ritchie only has 4 goals as the power forward on that line. And then you have basically no one who is a point per game. It does not sit well with me. And overall, I'm just not impressed with this team. And you got Nemestikov on the second line who has, 25 points in 46 games. Yarncrow, he's been playing well. He has got 35 points, I believe, in 46 games. So he's done well. Janssen's done well as well. But other than those two, I'm really not too impressed with this team. And you take a look at the back end. Brady Shea, 8 points. Tyson Barrie, he's been getting it done offensively. But to be honest, I don't know how long he's going to be sticking around, because I, once again, just don't feel comfortable with this roster at the moment. We're currently 6 points out of the wild card in the Atlantic Division. However, the Islanders are only 2 points ahead of us. So it's still possible that we could get back into a wild card spot. But the way we've been trending as of late, I don't like this roster. I really don't. I guess we'll see how it goes leading up to the trade deadline, but I'm pretty certain that we're going to be sellers this year. I figured we'd give it a shot, just as the first-year expansion franchise. May as well see what we have. But clearly what we have is not working, as seen by the past stretch. You have a loss here against Edmonton, then a win against Dallas, but then a loss, a win, a loss, a shootout win, a loss, and then you have a loss, a shootout loss, a loss. We have been absolutely terrible as of late. And at this point, I'm speaking in circles. So I'm just going to say, if by the trade deadline, we are still not in a good position when it comes to the wildcard race or the playoff race in general, we are going to be sellers. We are going to be trading off several players for picks. And it's going to be just hoping for the first overall pick for the rest of the year, because I do not trust this roster. But with that being said, I'm still not going to try to tank, because I do want to have the most success possible with this roster. If we can have success with this roster, I prefer it. But the way I see it, as of right now, that is kind of unlikely to happen. I've been trying to get better chemistry on defense, but that just doesn't seem possible, unfortunately, with all the combinations that I've tried. And this is the only +5 line that we can get with the forward core. So I really don't see too many other possible changes other than trading guys away. So once again, we'll see what happens going up to the trade deadline, but I'm not optimistic. Okay, you know what? Let's try Nemestikov on the first line instead of Johansson in the middle, because I know Johansson's been struggling at the faceoff dot. Yeah, he's only at 46% essentially. Nemestikov, on the few faceoffs that he's taken, is at a 59%, so maybe he'll help out with possession time, and hopefully he could get something going for that first line, because Ritchie, not going at the moment. Nyquist could be doing better. I feel like if we have more possession on that first line, maybe that'll convert into more goals for Ritchie or goals for Nyquist. And who knows, maybe Johansson on the second line with Yarncrow and Janssen instead of Nemestikov will also help out that second line. And honestly, Yarncrow and Janssen weren't doing too bad to begin with, but now that they have Johansson instead of Nemestikov, maybe that'll help them out a bit more. Okay, so we're roughly 3 games before the trade deadline, a week before the trade deadline, and I think I've seen enough. This team is not going anywhere. it's pretty clear at this point. You got, in the past 5 games, we've had 5 losses. And our most recent win was against the Islanders. So we've gotten a few wins here and there since we started the simulation in this episode. But every win we get is being offset by another loss. And we're way too far back at this point to... No, we're not catching the wild card. We're going to be sellers at the deadline. Definitely. So it was a nice little run this year. It was pretty fun in the first part of the year. But it is pretty clear as day now that this team is not going to be competing in the playoffs this year, and maybe not even for the next couple of years, honestly, because it looks like we're going to be trading away some of our veteran players here, such as Nyquist, I think, has to go. I mean, he's obviously our leading scorer, but how much of a future does he really have here at 31 years of age? Not much. Then I think other guys that could go, Marcus Johansson could probably go. Yarncrow, he's 29. Janssen, I think we could keep. He's 26. He hasn't done terrible this year, and he has perfect chemistry on that second line. So if we could get him to grow, then he could definitely have a future here. Richie, I don't know about, because he's kind of been underwhelming, even with a +5 on that first line. But he's young enough to the point where I feel like I would give him a second chance. Rupert Hintz. Yeah, I would definitely keep him. 24 years of age. We got Trevor Van Riemsdyk. I didn't even realize we have Trevor Van Riemsdyk on the forward core. I guess that could be contributing to some of our losses recently, but it's not like they're getting negative chemistry. But still, even if we were to take Van Riemsdyk out and put someone like, let's say, Lievo in, I don't think that would have affected our simulation too much, to be honest, because we're just overall not a very good team. Donato, I think we could keep. He's got that medium top 6 potential, 24 years of age. Everyone else, I think, can go, at least on the forward core. Defensively, you might be able to keep Shea, but if he has quite a bit of value, then I wouldn't be opposed to trading him. I would say we trade Barry. He's 29, not really in the age range that I'm looking for. Devon Taves, maybe we hold on to him, maybe we trade him. Larson, we're definitely keeping. McCabe, I'd say we could trade. Chara, we can definitely trade, given that he's an 84 overall at 43 years of age. I mean, if he even has trade value at this point, which it wouldn't surprise me due to his age that maybe he doesn't have trade value, but I'm going to assume because of his overall that he does have trade value, so we are going to have him on the trade block. And as for goaltenders, you could probably put Rant on the trade block as well. Under a 900 save percentage in 48 games played, 31 years of age. Not much reason to keep him around when we could have Demko taking the reins soon, hopefully. Look at Aronson. There's a positive of this season. Devin Aronson, well over a point per game player. As a matter of fact, he's well over assists per game. 43 assists in 42 games played, in addition to 36 goals on the season currently in the U.S. League. He is absolutely tearing it up, and currently at a 79 overall. He should be ready for next season, so that's definitely a positive for this season. So, yeah, it looks like we're definitely trading Yarncrow. I mean, I don't know if that should technically be his trade value, but I guess that might be his trade value because of his salary and the fact that he's on a multi-year deal. So we'll put Yarncrow there. I wanted to trade him anyway. We'll get Barry on there. And I would say Taves over Shea on the trade block. I mean, Shea does have more value, yes, but the part that I don't like about Taves is that he doesn't really throw the body as a two-way defender, and I like my two-way defenders to throw body checks, so yeah, Taves on the block. So we're at trade deadline day, and I think we're actually going to go into it because I want to see if there's any first-round picks available. I was not able to find any first-round picks that were on the block previously, so maybe that'll be different in the trade deadline. So I think right off the bat, the first player I want to trade is Tyson Barrie. See if we can get a first-round pick out of him. So we do have a first-round pick here from Colorado, and Bocage and a third. Just fly through it. Edmonton, a first-round pick from Edmonton, and McLeod and a third. A first from Montreal, and a third as well. A first from Tampa and Johnson for next year. A first and a second and Niemela for Toronto. That does sound pretty good. I think that's the best offer so far. A first and a third from Vancouver. A first, Siegenthaler, and a third from Washington. I think I like Toronto's offer the best with that first and the second. Yeah, I'm going to do it. See you later, Tyson Barrie. Thanks for all your help this year, but it is time to blow it up. Taylor Hall goes to the Florida Panthers as well, so that's another major blockbuster move there. All right, let's see what we can find for Nyquist. Second and a third. Can we get any firsts here? We got 2 seconds from Montreal. It doesn't look like any firsts. Okay, so I think Montreal is willing to give up the most value here just based off the 2 seconds. So let's edit the trade here. I want to see if they're willing to give up a first. Yes, they are. They are willing to give up a first. So if I just... What about Nyquist straight up for a first? No. Okay. As I figured. Then what if I added a Devon Taves to the trade? Nyquist and Taves would have more than 45 skaters. Okay, let's add someone back. What if I could pick up, let's say, a Noah Juleson? I mean, I know he's 23, but maybe you could grow him into something if he fits the right chemistry, right? So, let's get him on there. Nyquist and Taves for a first and Juleson. Projected too far off. I guess it's going to have to be a lane if we want to make this go through with the first round pick. So, Nyquist and Taves for a first and a lane. All right, that'll work. And we have to call up Callan Foote. No problem there. And there you go. Trade accepted. We are wheeling and dealing here, boys. Getting those first round picks like there's no tomorrow. Now, we do want to keep an eye on our salary cap situation. We currently have 16.2 available in salary. We can't go below the cap floor, and we're pretty close to it, I think. So if we traded Johansson, we would need to get salary back. Same for basically any other player who I want to trade at the moment. Yarncrow, we don't necessarily have to trade right now because he's on a multi-year deal, and he's only at $2 million salary, so we could keep him. He's got some value, so maybe he'll grow in the offseason. Because he's having a decent season. There's not much else that I think we can do at this point. I mean, I want to trade Johansson and Ranta, but just because of the salary cap situation, I don't know. I mean, I suppose we could take a bad contract back the other way. That's the only way I could think that we're getting value otherwise. Like maybe Backus. I know Anaheim doesn't want to trade him away, but that'd still be a lot of cap off of their books. And then they could add someone like, let's say, Johansson. Maybe we get a second round pick out of this. Don't know if that'll go through. It might just because of Backus. But then again, maybe do I want... Since I've already got 2 firsts or 3 firsts this year, do I want to get a second for next? No, they don't even have a second for next year. So let's just try this year's second and Backus for Johansson. Nope. Okay, not sufficient at all. What if I mean, maybe this isn't going to help too much, but I'll retain some of Johansson's cap. He's only a 1-year deal anyway. It'll give Anaheim some more flexibility to make more trades if they have to. So let's try that second round pick again. Proposed trade. Trade accepted. There it is. And let's see. Who would need a slightly used Antti Ranta? Maybe Philly as a backup to Carter Hart. But then again, they're kind of pushing the salary cap. Or maybe St. Louis as a backup to Binnington. Another situation of pushing the salary cap, but they might be able to make it work. Let's say I got back Gillies. I think I would retain salary cap from Ranta just to give them a little bit of extra value. And then, I mean, their first is way up there. So I don't think I'm going to try to trade for that. I might try to trade for next year's first instead. So let's see, what do they want? Nemestikov. I'd be willing to give up Nemestikov. He's only $2 million. Ranta, Nemestikov for Gillies and a first. I don't know if that'll work. I mean, I suppose Yarncrow, he does fill out that value. Ranta and Yarncrow for a first. I wouldn't mind trading Ranta for this, but Yarncrow, it's not like he doesn't throw the body. He's not particularly great defensively. Well, he's okay defensively. He's just not, he's not exceptional. I wouldn't mind trading Yarncrow for the right price, and I think this would be the right price for me for sure. Because St. Louis, where is St. Louis as an organization? Are they... I mean, yeah, they're obviously in win now mode, but, are they going to be in the playoffs next year is mainly what I'm concerned about. I mean, goaltender stats, as we know, aren't exactly the most stable, and Binnington isn't having the greatest year this year. And we take a look at their defense. They got Krug, Falk, Parayko. I'll take the chance, honestly. I'll take the chance on them not being a good team next year. So, Ranta... okay, nope, decline that. So now I gotta go all the way back to the St. Louis Blues and get that trade back on the table. So what was it again? A first and... Oh, it was Gillies, right. It was the, it was the goaltender. And then... oh, come on. I'm trying to make a trade here. Okay, so Ronta at half the salary and Yarncrow for Gillies and a first. Will it work? Trade accepted. There it is. So we currently have 16.5 mil in cap space available. I mean, I'd say we're doing a pretty good job here, especially given the amount of first-round picks we have. We have 3 first-round picks for this year and 2 for next year, I believe. Yep, we got ours and the St. Louis Blues. So I think we're done here. I think we're done at this trade deadline. And as expected, guys like Opozo, Chara, they don't have much trade value at all, so I don't think I'm even going to bother with Chara. But for right now, I think we are done with the trade deadline. So there you go. Once again, not a bad trade deadline, if I do say so myself. But unfortunately, that means our roster is now in complete disarray, as we have almost no chemistry going on. And we are just really riding out the rest of the season here, it appears, as we go to Thatcher Demko in goal and hope he grows for what little growth he has left, probably. And just hope for the best going into the draft lottery, because we got 3 first-round picks now. I'm only expecting one of them, obviously ours, to be a lottery pick. But with that all being done, I think we're going to end this one off here. Been quite the eventful episode already. In the next one, we will finish the year 1 regular season and hopefully get into the offseason and all the draft, all that fun stuff. So that being said, let me know what you guys think of the moves that we've made, and I'll see you guys in the next one.